Welcome back to Watkins Glen International. Dave Burns, Parker Kligerman, and Dylan Welch enjoying the action here today with you. Will Rogers in the green and white 7 continues to lead, but now he's got a challenge from the 31 of Scott Heckert as they resume the race with just 8 laps to go.
Don't sleep on Scott Heckert. He's won at Watkins Glen twice. He was the Will Rogers of the K&N East Series a couple years ago, winning on the road courses.
Big challenge to the outside through turn 1. Rogers is going to have the advantage, and Bubba Wallace in the 27 tries to hang on to second.
Oh, look at all that speedy dry. That's not smoke you see coming from those cars. They laid that down to get some of the oil off the racetrack. Scott Heckert holds off Bubba Wallace.
Oh, man, the 74 of Austin Hill gets a little wiggly up through the S's as well. They all hang on to it, and now it's down to the bus stop.
Brett Moffitt making a charge back through the field here.
Holy cow.
For the second time this race. Or third time, maybe.
Got spun, had an overheating issue on the 1 car, so he's been to the back of the field a couple of times and is racing his way back to the front. Meanwhile, Rogers trying to pull away from Heckert and Wallace.
Yeah, he was able to put a little bit of gap on Heckert there. Heckert looked like he got a good run off the carousel, and you saw Brett Moffitt on the outside through the carousel, going to make that pass on Ruben Garcia Jr.
Nice battle here. He'll have the inside preferred line as they go through the penultimate corner. Garcia very wide there. Gathers it back up.
Oh, and he gets real loose into turn 7. And you see Brett Moffitt will drive away from his next victim, Tyler Ankrum, there for Brett Moffitt in the 1 car to see if he can get up there and pass him as well.
What do you think? With just a few laps remaining, can he pick? Oh,
Whoa!
Man! Contact there, or was there. The 41 of Sam Mayer goes wide. And he gets back on. Whoa! Almost contacts the 12 of Burton and then nearly loses it again.
I think we're watching a dirt track, actually, here. This isn't Watkins Glen. Hey, look at that. Brett Moffitt gets a great run of all that happening from around the outside of Tyler Ankrum.
Here he comes. You know, and the team of the 30 bunch told Dylan that they didn't blow the motor, but that's a lot of speedy dry down there, and usually don't put that down for anything but oil, Parker.
Exactly. I think that there was a little bit more to that story than just overheating, looking at the smoke that came out of the back of that race car.
Whew. Okay, Brett Moffitt says, all right, what's going to happen with young Sam Mayer now? He's going to go to this side of him, you see back there. Meanwhile, battle for second, it's still Wallace and Heckert.
Oh, and Scott Heckert broke so late there. He's so good under the brakes. It's what makes him so fast in these road courses. But he just could not hold off Bubba Wallace down into turn 6, and now Bubba gets a great run out of turn 7. It looks like Scott's just struggling a little bit with the rear end on that race car.
There's the gap from Rogers back to Wallace, who does the protection line right there.
Yeah, it's a little bit of blocking, and if he can get a run out of here into the S's, he should be able to hold off Scott down the backstretch towards the inner loop.
This is second on back. Wallace, Heckert, then Davis, Burton.
Wow, I was just going to say Brett Moffitt ate out a huge chunk out of the lead there that Harrison Burton had going into the S's really quickly. I mean, he is flying in that 1 car right now.
Talked about the bad handling of the 12, and if the 1 is handling that much better, you're going to see that gap shrink that quick.
Exactly, and you know, both those cars were really fast in the wet practice we had. Harrison Burton was fast as well. Felt like at times he was one of the fastest cars out there. I just don't think that car has been able to translate the speed in the dry here during the race.
Burton is going to race a truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports in a couple of weeks at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. So this is his warm-up for that. But he hopes his truck handles a little bit better than the 12 car today.
I think so too. Yeah, he's doing a good job. If he really has that loose of a race car to be able to hang up there inside the top 10 and fringe in the top 5, I think he's doing a really great job with that car. And you know, that's valuable experience for a young man like himself to have a car that's a little bit ill handling on a road course. Sometimes you can learn more in that situation about how to drive these road courses because you're having to make up for a car that just doesn't have the speed.
You saw it from the flag stand. 5 to go. Davis is going to lose a position to Moffitt.
I don't think anyone's safe from Brett Moffitt.
I'm telling you. And Rogers just has to be running his heart out right now to try to get as far away from this group, especially Moffitt, as he can.
Well, the thing is, I don't think the team would be telling Rogers that Moffitt's coming this fast because he has such a lead. But, oh, wow, there's Harrison Burton, Spencer Davis banging doors through the inner loop.
Short tracking through the bus stop. Contact, and now Burton's going to go around.
Oh.
Almost. And we stay green.
is a half spin, and you know it's just such a tough place to be side by side, and I think both those drivers were racing really hard there in a place that's, as I said, it's easier single file, almost have to be single file at times, and as you bounce over those curves, what you have to do to be fast, you lose grip. And there's Jeff Burton, Harrison's dad, one of our co-workers.
Going, I didn't like how this turned out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of contact.
It's a lot of contact, but I hate to put blame on anyone because, you know, Harrison was making the move on the inside, Spencer's on the outside, and the two just met each other in the middle, being that they're bouncing around on the curbs like that. Great move by Sam Mayer.
Yeah, barely made it through in the 41.
I hate to put any blame on either of them other than just hard racing there.
So back up front, this is the battle for second because Moffitt is now third. Bubba Wallace sees him in his mirror. Here comes a passing opportunity. Is he going to do it? He's going to take a peek. No.
That would have been late if he did. We would have seen a Harrison Burton, Spencer Davis situation once again if he had made that move.
Wouldn't be the first time we saw a late pass today. Or a late attempt.
A late attempt. That's a better word for it. Well, look at him using that higher line in the carousel, trying to get a run, almost diming it a little bit to get a run on the 27 of Bubba Wallace. And that's something, you know, before this place got repaved, you would do that all the time. And now the line is really right on the bottom. Ooh, Bubba got a little loose there down in turn 6 on the brakes.
I'm telling you, they are not that far behind Rogers. Rogers better hope that Moffitt doesn't get by Wallace.
Yeah, I think Rogers has not gotten as far away as I thought he would have at this point, being that he kind of blitzed away from the field early. This is an incredible run by Brett Moffitt as he makes the move.
He will take second from Bubba Wallace. Dylan.
It's been a nice recovery for Brett Moffitt and this Hattori Racing team. Let's take a look at the gentleman here with the K&N Koji names written on the back of their helmet. The sponsor of this Brett Moffitt entry is Gunma Toyopet, which is an automotive dealership in Japan, which of course is where team owner Shiggy Hattori is from. Those two gentlemen, Ken and Koji, are mechanics at the Gunma Toyopet dealership, and they're pitting Brett's car this afternoon and having a good run so far as he's rebounded from that contact earlier in the race.
That's so cool.
It is, and it's a great point by Dylan. This is something that Shiggy Hattori does all the time with the K&N series. He actually brings a lot of young men and women over from Japan, and he does it with his truck team as well, and allows them to join the pit crews for a day or work in this race shop and really learn the trade of working on these race cars and get to experience racing firsthand over in America. So it's an awesome program that he runs, and really cool to see them having a day where I feel like they're about to contend for this win.
Speaking of his truck team, who's his driver, Parker?
That would be Brett Moffitt.
Who's his crew chief?
That would be
Scott Zipadelli. And they're both doing this today and running down the leader, Will Rogers, late in the race. They've already had a terrific season in the truck series. 3 wins, 4 additional top 5s. And remember, they left Gateway thinking that they weren't even going to have a race the next week without sponsorship. But it came together, and the team has stayed together and stayed fast. Again, a warm-up for them going to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park later on. But they might just win the race today if they can catch that 7 car.
I think he's got a real chance at winning it here as we go 2 laps to go. He's gaining quickly on Will Rogers. Look at him wringing the neck of that race car right now. Dropping the tires in the grass, doing everything he can to get speed out of it to try and catch Will Rogers.
Rogers is in the same race car in which he has won the last 4 K&N Pro Series races on road courses. It's a good one, but is it as good as this one? Even all beat up.
Wow, you know, and the thing is, Will he's got enough of a lead. He's going to take a mistake.
I hear tires.
Enough of a lead. He's going to take a mistake.
I hear tires. Yeah.
There it is.
Out of the final turn, coming to the white flag. Rogers makes a mistake, and here comes Moffitt.
Side by side, can he outbrake him into turn 1?
He's got enough brake left, and Moffitt is going to clear. Can Rogers fight back?
Oh, he's right on his tail right now. Will Rogers has to stay as close as he can to the S's if he wants to have an attempt down the inner loop at outbraking Brett Moffitt.
But Moffitt is pulling away. It doesn't look like Rogers is going to get a chance here. Brett Moffitt has cleared the 7, and now the advantage is about 6 car lengths.
And this is the place that Will Rogers is going to have to get close. He needs, if he couldn't do it in the S's, he's got to do it through the inner loop, then be right on his tail out of the carousel. As Brett Moffitt goes a little wide there, that might be his preferred line doing that diamond. He's got to get, oh, he gets a little loose. I don't know if he's going to get the run because 6 would be probably one of his last passing zones.
6 is the left-hander before the final corner where Rogers made the mistake on the right-hander on the last lap. Coming to the final 2 corners, Brett Moffitt smooth through 6, going down to 7. Last-ditch effort for Rogers. He's not there, Parker.
Not at all. This is all Brett Moffitt's to the end.
Brett Moffitt comes from the back of the field at least 2 times today and is going to win at Watkins Glen International. What a race. Incredible.
That was incredible. It was awesome. What a drive by Brett Moffitt and that whole Shigetori team to come from the back, as he said, basically twice in this race. And he passed so many of those cars under green in that last run. That was just amazing to watch. He really had the field covered speed-wise.
And still had brakes at the end, Parker, to make those big passes because you got to be able to stop the car and take advantage of that.
And they took tape off the front end there when they had the overheating issue and getting the grass all over the car. So he probably didn't even have the best aerodynamics aside from just the damage he has there on the left front. So that was just an incredible drive.
I'm telling you, that car is still going to look really pretty in Victory Lane when we come back to Watkins Glen. K&N Pro Series Racing on NBCSN is brought to you by K&N High Flow Air Filters and Air Intake Systems. Because everyone loves that fast car smell. Nothing to filter here. These fans saw a fantastic event today with lots of surprises and lots of young drivers learning Watkins Glen. Let's go down to Dylan.
What a drive for the driver from Grimes, Iowa. Dethroning the K&N Road Course King and Will Rogers. It's Brett Moffitt in Victory Lane. Man. The day you guys had to start with all the damage on the front end, to drive back through the field like that and then beat the guy who has been unbeatable for the last few road course races. How did you do that?
Honestly, everyone at HRE and Gunma Toyo Pet just gave me an awesome Toyota Camry to drive. It really makes my job easy. So it's all on them. It was unfortunate we had to start in the back, got a little bit of damage, but man, this thing was super fast and just easy to drive, and I love Watkins Glen. There's always a great crowd here. I can't thank the fans enough for coming out and everyone who supports this series.
You guys had a little bit of a rough go. This car did last year with Ryan Truex in the seat. How good does it feel to get the team some redemption by getting it in Victory Lane today?
Yeah, I mean, Gunma Toyo Pet's been loyal to this team, and unfortunately they had that incident last year, and they were all bummed because he had a really good car last year. And I was kind of bummed early in the race because I thought it was going to end up the same way, but we were able to hold on, and that was just awesome. Thank you. You too. Thanks.
Well, it was quite a drive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Brett Moffitt in Victory Lane at Watkins Glen.
Dave, I think I know the secret.
It is?
It's the mustache. That's what got him to win. You see Scott Heckert there saying high five as well, and what a drive. That was impressive.
Here are the results. Heckert was third, you see. We'll talk to him as well as Will Rogers. Nice run for Spencer Davis in fourth, and that youngster, the 15-year-old from Franklin, Wisconsin, Sam Mayer, finishes fifth today.
And you see Tyler Dimple back there in 15th. That damage early in the race, I think it really hurt him. Ends up all the way back to 15th.
Eric Jones and Noah Gregson, 19th and 20th from a penalty they never should have been involved in. Let's talk to second place. Here's Dylan.
Will Rogers comes home in the second spot today. All good things must come to an end, unfortunately, at some point or the other. What was the difference there for you at the end there when Brett was able to get by you?
Yeah, we were really hoping for that trifecta, you know, sweep the road courses this year and then add the fifth win to it. Just didn't happen for us today, but everybody at Jefferson Pitts Racing did a great job. Kelly Benefit Strategies, a huge thank you to them. Dryden Performance Products, couldn't do it without any of them. But Brett did a really great job. He had a really fast car today. I think into the second to last corner there, Spotter was saying, get all you can get, he's coming. So I tried to push it about 5 feet too deep into the braking zone, and it didn't work, didn't stick, it got a little loose. But it's all good. I saved it, and we finished second, so got to be happy about that one. Here at Watkins Glen, very thankful to be here.
You did a great job, nonetheless. Will Rogers, second place.
And that is so easy to do, Dave, because that corner entices you to drive in deeper, but when you do, exactly what happened to Will Rogers is what happens. It just